5, 10, 15 years ago, I would have never imagined actually myself to be standing here and sharing about my life experiences as a teacher. But here I am, standing in front of all of you, and would like to share a few words on my short and lovely journey so far as a teacher. Yes, I am a teacher's son. My dad was also a mathematics teacher. I am also a mathematics teacher, keeping the tradition, intact. And yes, my dad is also a state awardee, and again, I'm also a state awardee, so I'm keeping the tradition again intact. Thank you so much. I am a teacher by choice, not by chance. Many of us are not teachers by choice. We are teachers by chance. But I stand here in front of you as a teacher by choice, not by chance. So, the most important thing in life is our choice and enjoying what we do. Then only one can really start, exploring and be ready for change. Otherwise, if we do not enjoy our profession, then how are we supposed to really enjoy what we do? Adapt. Innovate. Okay. So with that point, let me move fast. Let me just go fast forward to March 2020, March 17th. Wow, that was the day. Wasn't I really so happy because lockdown. I'll speak right from my heart, okay, honestly, as a teacher. So I'll not be talking of anything cosmetic here today. Schools were to be shut down, so that meant holidays for us, vacations, sort of. So weren't we excited? Yes, we were excited, because we'll go back home, take some rest, get relieved of ourselves of our school duties, definitely. So we really enjoyed 1-2 weeks. But then, of course, our profession started calling us. As the lockdown got extended and extended and extended, I began to think, what about my students? What are they doing? Where are they? So now that started, I started asking questions on myself, like, what am I really doing? Am I keeping true to my profession? Answer was, no. I was not living up to my profession for the first 2-3 weeks. But the problem was we were not ready at all, because as we all know, the lockdown hit us very badly. All of a sudden, we were not given any notice in advance. So it hit us all of a sudden. So we were not ready at all, especially us here, or maybe me alone. Technology. I still remember telling my students to stay away from social media, YouTube, no mobiles, don't do this, don't do that. I really wish to go back to those days and apologize to my students of those batches. Because now I have a YouTube channel of my own. Now I have to convince them it is good. So now it's really difficult for me. It was difficult for me. But of course, life has really changed. It was not easy at all. I believe that I can speak for all here. So it was really not easy for us. I remember I had spent over a month, trying out new things, different platforms, new apps. But as I said, we were not really prepared at all. With that, of course, I realized that maybe we were being too comfortable the way we were. We really didn't care what changes were happening around us, how the world was changing. We were just happy here, at our own homes, at our own comfort zone. But the world around us was changing. Maybe we were just too comfortable. We didn't realize that. Now that is something I believe is a lesson well learned. Now we as teachers need to be really adapted with all the new changes that is happening in and around us. And that is what I took from this pandemic, positively. But fortunately, along the way, I came across so many of my ex-students, my present students, coming forward to help me out in getting used to the technology, the new apps that are coming out. Actually, I give all the credit to my students because they are more up to date with the technology. So they came forward, they cooperated with me. They came forward to help me out. Now that is when I felt really good about myself, to be honest. Because sometimes, when nobody is around us, it's good to praise ourselves. Because that's really good for self-motivation. Just look at the things that are good in us. And that really helps in self-motivation and confidence. Because it meant that I had kept my connection with my students, and I created a bond with my students. And I believe as a teacher, we should always try to understand and build every student individually. Because every student is individually, uniquely gifted. They are all actually beautiful in their own ways, and from this experience I also realized something new also, that is, we as humans, we need to be very humble. Yes, I will also admit, when I was not the way I am today. It's not that I am good, there's still a long way to go. But I still believe I was young as a teacher. I joined in 2009. I was young as a teacher, I was arrogant, proud, but with experience and maturity I realized that I need to be more humble. I need to be more approachable as a teacher. Otherwise, how would I expect my students to come forward and share with me their problems? How would I know them? But with experience, all these lessons I learned in life. The bigger the degree, the more the experience, I believe the more humble we should be. We should be ready to listen to what people have to say or teach us. Like, we need to keep our doors open so that they can feel comfortable to approach us, so that they can give us inputs positively, especially as teachers. But if we remain arrogant, stubborn, proud, then definitely who is going to come forward to help us, even if they know that we have done something wrong, or even if they know that he needs to develop. Because I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe that nobody in this world knows enough, and nobody is perfect except God. And this pandemic actually really taught me very well, because I'm very happy that this pandemic happened. Because I had to convince my students to attend the classes, online classes. And to be honest, I knew that it was not really easy for them to focus or to concentrate. So I had to innovate. Because definitely try out new ways to attract them so that they can come for the classes every day. Otherwise, who would like to listen to that same old person teaching in the same old way? Definitely, I'm sure that we also, when we attend webinars or seminars, 5-10 minutes, done. Nobody's interested. So I had to innovate. I started acting. I started dancing around. I started learning new things like konnichiwa, sarange, just to make the students feel comfortable that okay, our teacher is keeping a track of what are the changes that are happening. So every class, before I begin, I would always try to think of something new. What should I do today so that my students will be eager to join the classes tomorrow also. But then actually along the way, I realized that more students need to be reached out. It was not only the students in my school alone. There were more who had no online classes, more of the students, section of the society, the student society who were neglected. So then, of course, I started my own YouTube channel, which is known as the Zen Tutorials, where I try to, share little knowledge of mathematics or what I really know. So, and that I believe that it has really been very helpful from the comments that I have received, from the emails that I have received. It has really helped students all over the state, Nagaland. So, I'm really blessed with that. Once I started making myself more approachable, I started, experiencing the difference, because students started coming forward. They started sharing their problems with us. They started, telling us everything. And then I realized that teaching as a profession one can really find joy in it. Once you get yourself, connected to the students. I would also like to add that not every individual, is born or destined to be an engineer or a doctor. That we always say that in every speeches or in every talks, but we never really apply that in our system. What I believe is every student has a unique gift, which is gifted to him by God especially. Not as an engineer or a doctor every time. But that can happen actually only if, we can understand or we can realize what a student is good at only if we can go down to their level, talk with them, be more friendly, be more approachable, then only we will be able to realize that. Otherwise, it becomes difficult for us, because if we maintain our standard, maintain our, that level of our knowledge, then definitely we are never going to go anywhere near them. And yes, as I admit again, this pandemic really taught me well that I know nothing as a teacher. I need to know more. The students, they need to see in us actually a champion. We need to walk the talk. We need to be very honest. Admitting our mistakes in the classrooms or anywhere, that doesn't put us down in front of our students. In fact, they enjoy it because they know that, all right, our teacher is an honest person, ready to admit his or her mistake. And I also believe that as any teacher, to be honest, who doesn't study or who doesn't do his homework at home will never be a complete teacher. Because we as teachers, most of the times, we forget to study. We just tend to relax, as I say, that our knowledge is enough, our degree is enough. But I don't think that is enough, because we need to study every day. We need to do our homeworks. And not only about our subject, because most of the times we are stuck with our subject. I'm a mathematics teacher, so I'm going to be teaching mathematics only. We need to move beyond that, beyond our subject. Also, I promise that this is not the end, but just the beginning of more to come, because we know that now the student community, the society, people are looking at us and watching every step of us. So we assure you that this is just the beginning of more to come. And finally, I would like to end my speech by sharing that every student is beautiful, has something to provide to the society. So please do not judge a student by his marks, but by his character. And let us try to make this world a better place by giving an opportunity to each and every individual student to showcase their talents, not their marks.